Ladies and gentlemen, stop being kind in the new year starting. Not because kindness is wrong, but because you have misunderstood it. You were kind to people who never respected you. You stayed silent where you should have spoken. You kept giving chances where you should have walked away. You called it kindness, but deep inside it was fear of losing people, fear of being alone, fear of being judged. Stop confusing kindness with silence and fear. Many people stay quiet and call it kindness, but inside their heart is shaking. They feel hurt, ignored, disrespected, yet they smile and say it's okay. They think staying silent makes them a good person. They think swallowing pain makes them strong. But most of the time it is not kindness, it is fear. Fear of losing people, fear of being disliked, fear of standing alone. From childhood we are taught to adjust, to compromise, to not speak too much. We are praised when we tolerate, when we forgive quickly, when we don't complain. Slowly silence becomes a habit. We stop listening to our own feelings. We stop trusting our own voice. We start believing that our pain is less important than other people's comfort. That belief slowly breaks us from inside. True kindness does not ask you to disappear. It does not ask you to shrink so others can feel big. Kindness has honesty in it. Kindness has courage in it. When you stay silent while someone crosses your limits, you are not being kind. You are being afraid. Afraid that if you speak, people will leave. Afraid that if you say no, you will be called rude. Afraid that if you show your pain, you will be misunderstood. Silence can be heavy. It sits in your chest. It follows you to bed. It shows up in your tired eyes and your forced smile. You may look calm on the outside, but inside there is noise, questions you never asked, words you never spoke, feelings you never shared. Over time, this silence turns into sadness, resentment, and self-blame. There is a big difference between peace and silence. Peace feels light. Silence caused by fear feels heavy. Peace gives you space to breathe. Fear base. Silence makes you feel trapped. Many people confuse the two. They think they are peaceful, but they are just avoiding conflict. They think they are kind, but they are just scared of reactions. When you don't speak for yourself, you teach people how to treat you. You teach them that it's okay to ignore your needs. You teach them that your feelings can wait. This is not kindness to them, and it is cruelty to yourself. Your voice matters. Your feelings matter. Your discomfort is a message, not a weakness. Speaking up does not mean shouting. It does not mean hurting others. It means being honest. It means saying, "This hurts me." It means saying, "I am not comfortable with this." It means choosing truth over approval. Courage does not always look loud. Sometimes it looks like a calm sentence spoken with a shaking voice. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow out of old habits. You are allowed to stop pleasing everyone. You are allowed to be kind and still say no. You are allowed to love people and still protect yourself. Fear keeps you silent. Self-be gives you words. When you stop confusing kindness with silence, you start healing parts of yourself that were ignored for years. You start listening to your heart again. You start trusting your inner voice. You start understanding that your worth is not measured by how much you tolerate, but by how honestly you live. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are self-respect. Many people struggle with this idea because they were taught that being good means always agreeing, always adjusting, always being available. They think that saying no makes them selfish and setting limits makes them harsh. So they keep giving even when it hurts, and they keep smiling even when they feel empty inside. A boundary is simply a line that protects your inner world. It tells others how to treat you. It tells you how much you are willing to tolerate. Without boundaries, people assume access. They assume your time is always free, your energy is always available, and your emotions are always open for use. Over time, this silent permission leads to exhaustion. When you don't set boundaries, you slowly lose yourself. You say yes when you mean no. You show up when you are tired. You listen when you need rest. You help when you need help. This constant self-betrayal is not kindness. It is neglect. And neglect, even self-neglect, leaves scars. Many people only realize the importance of boundaries after they are emotionally drained, after they feel used, after they feel invisible. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate you. They are filters meant to protect you. They allow good things in and keep harmful things out. Without them, everything enters, including disrespect. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will resist them. They will call you changed. They will say you are not the same any more. They may accuse you of being cold or ungrateful, but what they really mean is that they no longer have easy access to you. That discomfort is not your responsibility. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first. Your voice may shake, your heart may race. You may feel guilty for choosing yourself. That guilt comes from old conditioning, not from doing something wrong. You were trained to put yourself last. So putting yourself first feels unfamiliar. A boundary does not require anger. It does not require long explanations. Sometimes it is as simple as silence. Sometimes it is a calm no. Sometimes it is walking away. You do not owe everyone a reason. Your peace is reason enough. Self-respect grows every time you honor your limits. Each time you choose rest over pressure. Each time you choose honesty over people pleasing. Each time you choose distance over disrespect, slowly your relationship with yourself improves. You begin to trust yourself again. Boundaries also improve your relationships. Healthy people respect them. They listen. They adjust. They don't take it personally. Unhealthy people test them. They push. They cross lines. That contrast gives you clarity. It shows you who values you and who values control. You are allowed to change your boundaries as you grow. What you tolerated before may not feel okay now. Growth changes standards. Healing changes tolerance. You don't need to apologize for evolving. Anyone who truly cares will understand. There is nothing cruel about protecting your mental and emotional health. There is nothing wrong with choosing peace over chaos. Boundaries are not about punishing others. They are about honoring yourself. When you respect your own limits, you teach others how to respect you too. Not everyone deserves access to your heart. This is a hard truth because many people grow up believing that love means openness to everyone. They believe being a good person means being available, understanding, and emotionally open no matter how others behave. Slowly the heart turns into an open door with no lock, no rules, no protection. Anyone can walk in, leave a mess, and walk out. Your heart is not a public place, it is a private space. It holds your fears, your hopes, your pain, and your dreams. Giving everyone access does not make you loving, it makes you vulnerable in the wrong way. Some people enter your life not to care, but to consume. They listen not to understand, but to use. They stay not to support, but to benefit. Not everyone who smiles at you wants good for you. Not everyone who listens to your story respects it. Some people collect your weaknesses like tools. They remember your soft spots not to protect them, but to press them when it suits them. Giving such people access to your heart is not generosity. It is carelessness. Access should be earned, not assumed. Trust is built, not handed out. Just because someone is close to you, related to you, or has known you for a long time does not mean they deserve to know everything about you. Time does not always equal loyalty. Familiarity does not always mean safety. When you give your heart too easily, you start feeling drained. You start explaining yourself too much. You start feeling anxious before speaking. You start editing your truth to keep others comfortable. That is a sign that someone has access they never deserved. Your heart begins to feel heavy instead of alive. Protecting your heart does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming aware. Awareness of patterns, words, actions, and energy. Some people only come to you when they need emotional support, advice, or validation. When you need the same, they disappear. That imbalance is not love. That is emotional taking. Your heart needs safe hands. Hands that don't rush your healing. Hands that don't judge your scars. Hands that don't make you feel guilty for feeling. Safe people do not mock your pain. They do not use your honesty against you. They do not make you feel small for being sensitive. It is okay to be selective. It is okay to share slowly. It is okay to observe before opening up. You do not owe everyone your story. Some chapters are only meant for people who have proven they can read with care. Oversharing with the wrong people often leads to regret, not connection. Many people fear setting emotional boundaries because they think it will push people away, but the truth is the right people stay, the wrong ones leave, and that is not loss, that is clarity. Anyone who demands full access without respect is not asking for love. They are asking for control. You can be kind and still keep parts of yourself private. You can be warm and still say, "This is not for you." You can love deeply and still protect your inner world. Your heart is valuable not because everyone touched it, but because it was guarded with wisdom. When you understand that not everyone deserves access to your heart, you stop feeling guilty for choosing peace. You stop forcing connections. You stop begging for understanding. You start trusting your instincts. You start honoring your emotional safety. You realize that love grows best where there is respect, patience, and care. Overgiving is not love, it is self-neglect. Many people give too much because they believe love must hurt. They believe sacrifice is the proof of care, so they pour their time, energy, emotions, and attention into others, even when nothing comes back. They stay available, they stay understanding. They stay forgiving, even when they feel tired and unseen. Overgiving often starts with good intentions. You want to help, you want to support, you want to be there, but slowly helping turns into obligation. Support turns into expectation. Being there turns into being used. You begin to feel responsible for other people's happiness, moods, and problems while your own needs stay ignored. When you overgive, you stop checking in with yourself. You don't ask, "Do I have the energy for this?" You don't ask, "Is this healthy for me?" You only ask, "How can I help more?" This constant outward focus disconnects you from your own body and emotions. You feel tired but keep going. You feel hurt but stay silent. Overgiving creates imbalance. One person gives, the other receives. One person adjusts, the other stays comfortable. Over time, this imbalance breeds resentment. You start feeling angry, but you feel guilty for that anger. You tell yourself, "You chose this." You tell yourself, "This is what love looks like." But love that drains you is not love, it is loss. Many overgivers fear being replaced. They fear that if they stop giving, they will stop being needed, so they give more to secure their place in people's lives. But when love is based on usefulness, it is fragile. The moment you cannot give, the connection changes. Self-neglect is quiet. It doesn't always look dramatic. It looks like skipping rest to help someone else. It looks like ignoring your feelings to avoid conflict. It looks like putting your dreams on hold for someone who wouldn't do the same. Bit by bit, you disappear from your own life. Love should not require you to abandon yourself. Care should not come at the cost of your mental and emotional health. Healthy love has balance. It flows both ways. It includes listening and being heard, giving and receiving, showing up and being supported. Overgiving often comes from deep empathy and a soft heart that is not a weakness. But without boundaries, empathy turns into exhaustion. A soft heart still needs protection. A caring nature still needs limits. Otherwise, kindness becomes a doorway for exploitation. You are not responsible for fixing everyone. You are not required to carry emotional weight that is not yours. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to rest without explaining yourself. Giving should be a choice, not a compulsion. When you stop overgiving, you may feel uncomfortable. You may feel selfish. You may feel like you are disappointing people. But what you are really doing is returning to yourself. You begin to notice your needs again. You begin to respect your energy. You begin to understand that your worth is not measured by how much you give. Real love does not demand self-destruction. Real connection does not survive one-sided effort. You deserve relationships where care is shared, not drained. Where your presence is valued, not consumed. Where giving does not mean losing yourself. Saying no is a complete sentence. Yet for many people it feels like the hardest word to say. They feel the need to explain, justify, soften, and apologize for it. A simple no turns into a long story filled with excuses and guilt. This happens because people are taught that refusing is rude, that agreeing is polite, and that availability equals value. From a young age, many learn that love is earned by compliance. When you say yes, you are praised. When you say no, you are questioned. Slowly, you begin to associate approval with agreement. You fear that if you say no, you will disappoint, upset, or lose people. So you say yes even when your heart resists. But no is not an attack, it is not rejection, it is not disrespect. No is clarity, it is honesty in its simplest form. When you say no, you are telling the truth about your capacity, your energy, and your boundaries. You are choosing alignment over obligation. People often over-explain their no because they want to be understood. They want the other person to see that they are still good, still kind, still caring. But over-explaining teaches people that your boundaries are negotiable. It invites debate. It gives space for guilt and pressure to enter. A complete sentence does not need defense. No stands on its own. When you add explanations, you give others power to decide whether your reason is valid. Your needs do not need approval. Your limits do not require permission. Many people fear that saying no will make them unlikable. But the truth is, people who respect you will respect your no. People who don't will push back. That reaction reveals more about them than about you. Anyone who only values you when you agree is not valuing you. They are using you. Saying no protects your time. It protects your energy. It protects your mental health. Every yes costs something. When you say yes to one thing, you say no to another. If you say yes to everyone else, you are often saying no to yourself, your rest, your goals, and your peace. There is discomfort in learning to say no. Your voice may feel tight. Your heart may race. You may feel selfish even when you are not. This discomfort comes from breaking old patterns, not from doing something wrong. Growth often feels awkward before it feels natural. No does not require anger. It does not require explanation. It does not require apology. You can say it calmly. You can say it kindly. You can say it firmly. The power is not in the tone, but in the truth behind it. When you start saying no, you create pace. Space to breathe, space to rest, space to focus on what matters to you. You stop living in reaction mode. You stop being pulled in every direction by other people's needs and expectations. Saying no is an act of self-trust. It tells your inner self that you will listen when something feels wrong.